Hey guys, Nick here. So it's a nice, warm, sunny day, and I know a lot of my viewers, they have GoPros, they have drones, all sorts of cameras, and since summer's coming around, a lot of you are probably planning on going on vacation soon. Some of you may be camping. Um, some of you may be off the grid, where you want to be able to charge your phone, which I have right here, my phone, my GoPro, my cameras, stuff like that, maybe your drones, but you're off the grid and you're wondering how you can do it. So what I have here is two different solar panels, both of them made by Goal Zero. They didn't sponsor this, by the way. I've had these for several years, but this is how I power my stuff when I'm on the go, when I'm off the grid. And the reason I'm showing you these is because there's a lot of panels out there. Some of them are like charging cases for the back of your phone. Those don't work. All right, the size of the panel just isn't enough to get a reasonable charge. So I thought I'd show you two different panels that actually work. So the first one here is called the Nomad 7, and it's called that because it's a 7-watt panel. It's actually two panels, but it collects a total of 7 watts of power. And because of that, you can expect to get at least one full charge from my iPhone or something like that. I can get at least a full charge of it, and especially on a sunny day like this, I could probably get 2 full charges from 0 to 100. And as you can see, it's super lightweight. It charges using USB, and it's got a nice pouch here on the back, and so that's what I want to show you next. Alright, so we've got 3 different things I want to talk about right here. So one thing I find actually to be super essential when I'm out using my solar panels is to have some sort of external battery that's not my phone and not the device I'm trying to charge. And the reason for that is because during the day I'm using my phone or I'm using my GoPro, but that's when I'm also charging my stuff. So I don't want to have my stuff plugged in all the time, so I have all sorts of extra batteries. So the first one here is called the Guide 10 Plus, and you can put double A's in it right here or triple A's, and then you can close that up. You can plug it into the panel and recharge it if you put rechargeable batteries in here, and then you've got your USB right here, so you can plug in a USB cable to your phone or whatever other USB device you have. This charges my iPhone about one time, and it's pretty nice because if it's a colder, rainy day, I can bring some extra batteries and I can pop those in, or I can go buy them and pop them in, and then I can charge my iPhone. The next one here is something that I bought more recently. It's called the Flip 20, and it's pretty much double the capacity of what 4 AA's in here would be, and you can see it's roughly the same size. So I actually switched from using the Guide 10 to using the Flip 20, and I can plug it into my solar panel using the USB, and then I have another USB right here so that I can plug my cord in for my phone or my GoPro or whatever. So this is my favorite between the two of which battery to use. It's a lot smaller, and I just don't find myself carrying a bunch of spare pairs of double A's. So for me, this is the way to go. Now the last thing I have right here, I'm not sure what it's called. It's a PIXO. I'll link it in the description. Maybe I'll put the title if I can still find it. The cool thing about this is it can actually charge almost anything. So I can plug in using USB to either of these batteries, and then I can plug it directly into the panel. And then I can either charge any of the C, D's, double A's, whatever, stuff like that, just by extending this and popping them in. But the other thing I have here is little prongs so that I can actually charge my Nikon camera batteries. Now it's a bit slow, and I'm not sure how safe it is, but when it's my only option, it's my only option. So moving all that aside, let's get to this big boy right here. This is the Nomad 20 solar panel, and it is absolutely huge. Unlike the Nomad 7, which you could easily carry in when you're backpacking, this is going to require some commitment if you wanted to do that. So what's the advantage? Well, instead of the 7 watts that you get out of the Nomad 7, you get a total of 20 watts out of the Nomad 20. Moving around to the back here, we have the Sherpa 100, and I just turned it on. Now the nice thing about this is a 100 watt hour battery, so it's the equivalent of 5 of these or about 10 of these. So if I have multiple GoPros or multiple iPhones or maybe like a small laptop, maybe I can run it off of this. One thing I did get for it is this little add-on right here. It clicks into the side. This is an inverter because the only connections you have are actually 2 USBs, this laptop thing, which I never really see a lot of use for, and then there's a 12 volt, so you can actually go to one of the 12 volt car adapters that comes with it, and then you have your input right here for the solar panel. So the inverter gives you the regular US outlet, and it allows you to basically plug in anything at that point. Now, I was disappointed to find that this can't actually charge my drone, so that was a bit disappointing. But one other thing to note is that the inverters aren't exactly that efficient, so it's going to burn a lot of power, and a lot of power is going to be wasted if you choose to use the inverter, but I do wish it did charge my drone. So I hope this helps some of you who are looking for a way to power some of your small electronics when you go off the grid. And I know there's a lot of solar panels out there that seem like a great deal, and they seem like they're super tiny and that they're actually going to work, and I've been burned by those scams too. But this is right here. I believe that, in my opinion, the Nomad 7 is actually the smallest you'd probably want to go on a panel. And Goal Zero does sell a smaller Nomad 3.5. I wouldn't recommend that. I like the size of the 7. I think it's the perfect size if you want to be able to charge your phone. And it works super well. And these are panels that actually work, so they didn't pay me to make this, but I still highly endorse Goal Zero because I've been on trips. I went to Canada, and for 10 days, this was my only source of power, and it worked just fine. I actually took both of these panels, and I can actually chain them together. I was able to charge my stuff a lot quicker by doing that, but what I was able to do was power my phone, my GoPros, whatever other cameras I had, and be able to capture images that nobody had ever been able to capture before, just because stuff like this didn't exist in such a portable package. So it's really cool that the cameras and the phones and all that have gotten small, but it's also really cool that we now have ways to power this stuff. So I hope this helps, and I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.